There was Caitlin Clark fans basically saying the reasoning for them liking Caitlin over Paige is Caitlin's killer instinct. So I'm gonna be bringing these up piece by piece because the site was kind of slow. But listen, here it says, Louisa G blasted a Caitlin Clark fan's take claiming that Paige Bueckers lacked killer instinct in her game. The Dallas Wings center made a guest appearance on the Journey podcast on...
Louisa didn't stop at the podcast. She took the throwdown to Instagram, and that's where things went from questionable to straight up wild. When fans pointed out that one reason many prefer Caitlin over Paige is Caitlin's cold-blooded killer instinct in crunch time, Louisa felt the need to clap back, and her response was peak delusional. She wrote, quote, "Caitlin Clark is definitely an important part of the revolution in women's basketball. Definitely not the only one, though. Paige Bueckers has a killer instinct. I can confirm 100% from live experience." Let's unpack how wrong every inch of that sentence is. First, applauding Caitlin's role while pretending she isn't the defining force right now is disingenuous. Second, a mid-level role player insisting she can vouch for Paige's supposed killer instinct after a handful of minutes is laughable. And third, trying to play both sides, praise Caitlin, then quietly boost Paige, only exposes a clumsy attempt to grab headlines. Fans saw it for what it was, a desperate bid for relevance that backfired spectacularly.
About Louisa's opinion, they swarmed the post comment section with their take on Wing Stars' opinions and on Bueckers Clark matchup. One fan gave Fever Guard an upper hand in the matchup. It says Caitlin Clark is revolutionizing women's basketball right now. Paige Bueckers is extremely good, but without killer instinct, one fan said. And I agree.
First, let's talk about impact, because the numbers don't lie. Who brought in the revenue? Who sold out arenas home and away? Who made casual sports fans care about the WNBA for the first time in decades? That wasn't a group effort. That was overwhelmingly one person. Ratings dropped 55% the moment Caitlin Clark got injured during the playoffs, 55%. That's not she's one of many contributors, that's she is the engine of the league's current relevance. So for Louisa to try to downplay Caitlin's role is either pure ignorance or intentional dishonesty. Then there's the killer instinct claim about Paige Bueckers. Yes, Paige is competitive, nobody denies that, but killer instinct isn't about trying hard. It's about consistently delivering when everything is on the line. Paige has had flashes, sure, but she has also disappeared in big moments. Meanwhile, Caitlin's entire brand was built on hitting impossible shots in the tensest moments, dragging her teams to wins they had no business getting. The comparison isn't close, and everyone knows it. What makes this even more absurd is who is making these claims. Louisa Geisloder plays for a Dallas Wings team that went 9-31, had the third lowest attendance in the league, and generated zero buzz. Paige Bueckers' presence didn't change that. Meanwhile, Caitlin was selling out every arena she touched, including opposing teams' arenas, shattering TV records, and becoming a cultural phenomenon. So when Louisa says it's not just Caitlin revolutionizing the sport, the obvious question becomes, if that's true, where were all these other contributors last season when the league was disappearing into irrelevance? The timing makes it even worse. Caitlin wasn't talking about anyone, wasn't doing interviews, wasn't stirring drama. She was literally minding her business, playing golf at Michael Jordan's club and working on her game. And somehow even her silence was too much for Louisa to handle without taking unprovoked shots. The killer instinct accusation is especially ridiculous. Caitlin has more game winners, clutch performances, and take-over-the-game moments than almost anyone in recent women's basketball history. She built her reputation on burying insane threes with defenders draped all over her. She's already produced multiple fourth-quarter takeover games in the WNBA, as a rookie. Paige, on the other hand, has had injuries and inconsistencies in big moments. That's not disrespect, that's observable reality. Fans recognized the absurdity instantly. Instagram lit up with people pointing out the irony of a 7 points per game role player diminishing the accomplishments of a generational talent. And many noted the obvious: without Caitlin's impact, Louisa would be playing in even emptier arenas with even fewer people caring what she says. The bite the hand that feeds you energy is wild, and this fits a pattern we've seen all season. WNBA players using Caitlyn's name for attention. Say something spicy, get instant engagement, bask in the moment, then either double down or pretend you were misunderstood. The strategy only works because Caitlyn is so much bigger than everyone else that even her haters rely on her to stay relevant. Without mentioning Caitlyn, nobody would have cared about Louisa's podcast appearance or her Instagram comments. The claim that she can confirm 100% from live experience that Paige has killer instinct is even funnier when you remember the head-to-head comparisons. Caitlyn has repeatedly outplayed Paige on the biggest stages. Louisa isn't confirming anything except that Paige tries hard. Congratulations, so does every professional athlete. Dallas record makes this even more embarrassing. If Paige had this unstoppable killer instinct Louisa claims, why did the Wings finish 9-31? Why were the stands empty? Why wasn't there any excitement? Results matter, and the results overwhelmingly favor Caitlyn. It's not just her argument is toxic because it requires pretending the numbers don't exist. Acknowledging Caitlyn's impact doesn't diminish other players, lying about it does. And Louisa's comments only exposed how deep the insecurity runs. Nobody was attacking Paige. Fans simply said Caitlyn has a killer instinct Paige doesn't. It wasn't personal until Louisa made it personal. And in defending Paige, she accidentally sparked a full-blown comparison that made Paige look worse, not better. This is the WNBA self-inflicted Caitlin Clark problem in a nutshell. Instead of embracing the player who is single-handedly raising paychecks, TV ratings, and relevancy, certain players keep trying to drag her down. It's the same energy that fueled the targeting during her rookie season, the same energy behind players complaining about the attention she gets, and now the same energy behind Louisa's social media meltdown. And the wildest part? There was zero upside. No organization, no agent, nobody thought to say, hey, maybe don't pick a fight with the most popular athlete in the league. Instead, Louisa created controversy, embarrassed herself, and accomplished nothing except making Paige look worse. Meanwhile, Caitlyn stays silent, stays working, stays elite, and still somehow lives rent-free in half the league's head. So Paige Bueckers' teammate tried to take a shot at Caitlin Clark, and the internet immediately reminded her why that's always a terrible idea.